There are some prisons with no bars, no guards, no chains, yet the people inside them cannot leave. They wake up every morning trapped. They go to work trapped. They smile in public trapped, and cry in private trapped. They want to move forward, but something is holding them fast. Tonight, this story is for anyone who has ever said, "I've tried everything, and nothing is changing." Because long before our struggles had names, God described them perfectly. In Jeremiah 50:33-34, the prophet declared, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast, they refused to let them go. Their Redeemer is strong." Ethan Walker lived in a quiet suburb outside St. Louis. From the outside, his life looked fine. He had a job, a family, a routine. But inside, Ethan felt like a man buried alive. Every year ended the same way. Promises broken, prayers unanswered, hope delayed. He wasn't addicted. He wasn't reckless. He wasn't lazy. But nothing moved. Every time he tried to rise, something pulled him back. Debt that wouldn't clear. Fear that wouldn't lift. A past mistake that followed him like a shadow. He would whisper at night, "God, why am I still here?" That was his captivity, not a cell, a cycle. Jeremiah said, "They were oppressed together, and their captors held them fast." Some captors are systems, some are people, some are patterns, some are seasons that overstay their welcome. And the most painful part? The captor refuses to let you go. Ethan had learned how to survive captivity. He stopped expecting miracles, stopped dreaming boldly, stopped praying dangerous prayers. He learned how to cope. He told himself, "At least I'm not homeless. At least I'm alive. At least others have it worse." But survival is not freedom. Jeremiah didn't say the captives were dead. He said they were held, alive, aware, but restrained. This is the cruelest kind of bondage, when you're strong enough to feel the weight, but not strong enough to break it. Ethan's biggest fear wasn't failure anymore, it was permanence. What if this is my life forever? That's when captivity tightens, when hope begins to negotiate with despair. Babylon thought Israel would never leave. They had armies, walls, power, time. And your captor thinks the same. That sickness thinks it owns your body. That failure thinks it owns your future. That past mistake thinks it owns your name. That delay thinks it owns your destiny. They refuse to let them go. Notice this. The captor is confident, but God is not nervous. The captor holds, but God redeems. And redemption does not ask permission to deliver. One night, Ethan sat alone in his car after work. He didn't turn the engine off. He just sat there, staring. And on the radio, a voice read, "Scripture." Not motivation, not advice. Scripture. Their Redeemer is strong. The Lord of hosts is his name. Ethan froze. Redeemer, not helper, not sympathizer. Redeemer. A Redeemer doesn't encourage you in captivity. A Redeemer ends it. Strong, not willing, not available. Strong. Ethan whispered, "If you are strong, why am I still here?" On getting home, he decided not to give sleep to his eyes. He took his Bible, prayed fervently, reading this scripture to God several times in his prayer, calling God his Redeemer. It was not a lackadaisical prayer. It was not a time to doubt whether God existed or not. The bondage was too strangulating. The suffering is unquantifiable, it must stop, there must be a release, and definitely the answer came. The answer came clearly because the Redeemer cannot look away from those who genuinely and fervently call on him. Jeremiah says something powerful next. He shall thoroughly plead their cause. That means God argues for you. God fights legally for you. God enters the system that trapped you and overturns it. Some battles are not loud. They are legal. You don't hear chains breaking. You hear verdicts changing. Babylon didn't fall in one day, but it fell completely. Ethan didn't wake up rich, but something shifted. Doors opened quietly. Fear loosened its grip. Opportunities came without stress. The captivity ended dramatically. It ended decisively. Months later, Ethan stood in a new place, a free place. He realized something. The captor was strong, but the Redeemer was stronger. The delay was real, but it was not eternal. Jeremiah never denied captivity. He declared supremacy. And tonight, this is the truth you need to hear. You may be held fast, but you are not held forever. Because your Redeemer is strong. If you are trapped in something that refuses to release you, if you are tired of cycles that don't break, if you are held fast by what you cannot fight, remember this: captivity has a limit. Redemption does not. They held them fast, but they could not hold God. Several people are under the influence of very powerful spirits, hooking them to several harmful tendencies considered self-destructive or harmful. Some of these include: 1. Strong feeling to commit suicide. 2. Drugs/alcohol abuse. 3. Rape. 4. Strong push to commit murder/school shooting. 5. Sexual immorality. 6. Self-sabotage. Behaviors that undermine one's own goals or relationships, like procrastination or people-pleasing. 7. Unhealthy coping mechanisms. Using food, sex, or other vices to manage emotions. 8. Toxic relationships, staying in or seeking out relationships that are damaging or toxic. 9. Risk-taking behaviors, engaging in reckless activities that put oneself or others at risk. 10. Avoidance, dodging responsibilities, emotions, or problems which can worsen over time. 11. Negative self-talk, criticizing or belittling oneself, impacting mental health. Let's learn from Caleb. There was a season in Caleb's life when waking up felt heavier than sleeping. He was young, educated, surrounded by people. Yet every morning he carried a weight no one could see. It wasn't sadness the way people describe it. It was louder than sadness. It was a voice, a quiet, persistent voice that said, "You are tired. You are done. It would be easier if this all stopped." The voice kept telling him he has nothing to live for. It's better to take his life and end it all. Times the voice advised him to take his own life and see how people will react. Caleb did not believe in God. He believed in control. He believed in logic. He believed that if something was broken, the human mind could fix it. So he tried. Caleb read books about mental strength. He exercised. He distracted himself. He told himself, "Others have it worse. I can handle this." But the thoughts didn't leave. They waited, at night, in silence, in moments when he was alone. He once attempted to take poison, shoot himself in the head. He spoke to professionals. He spoke to friends. He spoke to family. They cared. They listened. They tried. But nothing touched the root. The thoughts did not argue with logic. They did not respond to encouragement. They did not leave because people loved him. The pressure inside him felt stronger than reason, and that scared him. There came a point where Caleb stopped saying, "I want help," and started thinking, "I want rest." He didn't want attention. He didn't want sympathy. He wanted the noise to stop. He walked through days on autopilot, pretending to be fine, while inside him, something was slowly collapsing. What no one knew was this: Caleb wasn't weak. He was fighting something stronger than himself. One evening, exhausted and empty, Caleb agreed to attend a church service. Not because he believed, but because he had nothing left to lose. He sat in the back, arms folded, mind guarded. Then the preacher said something that cut through him like light through darkness. "Some battles are too strong for human strength. There are forces you cannot outthink, outrun, or overpower. But there is a Redeemer who is strong. Caleb froze. Strong. That word stayed with him. The preacher continued. You have tried everything. And that's not because you are weak. It's because what is holding you is stronger than you. For the first time, Caleb didn't feel judged. He felt understood. When the call was made for prayer, Caleb didn't move. His mind argued, this is emotional manipulation. This won't work. You don't believe this. But something deeper than belief pulled him forward, not faith, desperation. As hands were laid on him and prayers were spoken, Caleb didn't feel fireworks. He felt release, like something tight inside him finally loosened. He wept, not from fear, but from relief. The voice that had tormented him for years went quiet. Caleb didn't wake up the next day magically perfect. But the thoughts were no longer in control. The pressure was gone. The darkness was lifted. The voice had lost its authority. For the first time in years, Caleb wanted to live, not because life was easy, but because hope had returned. He later said something that stayed with everyone who heard his story. I thought I could save myself, but what was afflicting me was stronger than me. I didn't need motivation. I needed deliverance. Caleb believes now, not because someone forced him, not because he was weak, but because he learned a truth too many people discover too late. Some prisons cannot be broken from the inside. Some battles require a power greater than human strength. And when that power came, it didn't condemn him. It rescued him. If you are listening to this and thinking, I've tried everything, you are not hopeless. You may simply be fighting something too strong for you, but not too strong for God. You can do like Ethan, seek the face of God fervently, or do like Caleb, seek the help of men of God, brethren in the church who can join you in fervent prayers. Don't forget, the mercies and power of redemption are limitless. He will fight for you. He will deliver you. Hade will bring you out. If this message ministered to you, recommend it to others. Like and subscribe for more inspired messages.